Peel, Tom Graham, Fox News. Thursday Night Football reigning MVP Josh Allen sacked 8 times last night. Bills up for the Texans 23-19 on Jeff Finlay. Fox News.
Here.
Viewpoint, a presentation of the News and Public Affairs Department of AM 1490 WHTV. We welcome your input on the issues of the day. You can contact us on the Viewpoint Live by calling 875-1490. The opinions expressed by our callers and guests do not necessarily reflect those of the management and staff of AM 1490 WHTV. And now, here's today's Viewpoint.
And good morning and welcome into the Friday morning Viewpoint for this Friday morning, November 21st, 2025. And I'm your host, Randy Williams. Good morning. How do you feel this morning? Certainly hope your morning is going well and has gotten off to a good start. And I've got several things to let you know about, several things that are happening.
Hey, Randy, Jules in a meeting this morning, so no ad with her thing.
Gotcha. And so I think we're gonna take a look at the community bulletin board and church calendar again, so that you will know about some of these activities that are coming up in the very near future. In fact, I think we've got one main event coming up today at 2 o'clock at City Hall in the council chambers, a ham giveaway, the Rajay J. Butler Jr. Nonviolence Ham Giveaway. That's at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Also, you know, the Walton Theater is back open, and they have their movies for the weekend announced. Sarah's Oil will have one showing this evening at 6 p.m., 4 showings tomorrow, 12, 2, 4, and 6, and one showing on Sunday at 3 p.m. Also, tomorrow, Love City Selma presents the Love Helps Outreach Free Stuff giveaway, clothes, shoes, and more. Absolutely free from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., 1500 Woodrow Avenue East. It is open to everyone. All are welcome. Look for the Love City sign near the street between Lighthouse Nursing Home and Cedar Grove Apartments. That is tomorrow from 10 until 2. Sturtevant Hall Museum having their Artisan Fair tomorrow from 10 until 4 at Sturtevant Hall, 713 Mabry Street. Next week, Selma and Dallas County Chamber of Commerce and the Dallas County Extension Office having the Farm City Week breakfast sponsored by Alabama Ag Credit Tuesday, November 25th. This is going to be at Reflections Coffee Shop, 1014 Water Avenue in the Oasis Room. And we are right around the corner, of course, from, we know Thanksgiving is next week. And after Thanksgiving, December gets ushered in. And we've got a couple of things going on, though, on Thanksgiving Day. I need to back up a little bit and give you the information from Bruce, the ambassador Holmes. He does sports for selmapostherald.com. And on his sports page, he mentions what's going to happen on Thanksgiving Day. And of course, I'm talking about the Thanksgiving Day Classic, Tuskegee versus Alabama State at ASU Stadium. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. Hornet Stadium. And of course, also in Montgomery on Thanksgiving Day, the Turkey Day Classic Parade starts at 8 a.m. in downtown Montgomery. The weather looks pretty good. Maybe a little cool, but mostly sunny is the forecast for Thanksgiving Day. So you may want to mark that down on your calendar if you're planning on, if you're looking for something else to do other than what you may already have planned for Thanksgiving Day. In December, we've got several things that are going to be coming up. 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. You can also join us live on our YouTube live stream. If you have problems finding the live stream, just go to selmapostherald.com, and the live stream link is listed. I think it's right after the third story. The first story on the selmapostherald.com website is the actual news release from ADECA, the Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs, announcing the repair program grants for people who still need help from the January 12th, 2023 tornado. And you'll see where the link is one of the first things you see. All you have to do is click the link, and it takes you straight to their website, ADECA's website for that particular program. And if you read on in the story, it also gives you telephone numbers and addresses. And Selma has an outreach office on Broad Street. You can get all of that information from the website. And under that is the Veterans Day program that was held on at Memorial Stadium on Veterans Day. It's there. And also still on the website is the swearing in ceremony for the mayor and city council. And then under that, you got sports, the sports link, and then the live stream link to YouTube, and you'll see the WHBB logo also. That'll let you know that's Viewpoint, right? And so you can join us live on YouTube by way of your cell phone if you want. Just type in selmapostherald.com in the navigation window, or your laptop, or your desktop, you know. Coming up in December the 1st through the 13th, Selma Dallas County Historic Preservation Society having their 47th annual holiday house, Monday through Saturday from 8 until 5:30, Sundays from 1 until 4, at Miss Minnie Sue's Cottage, 622 McLeod Avenue. And vendors are still wanted. You can call Set Candy at 334-412-8550 or go to historicselma.org. The Selma City Schools having a community meeting with Superintendent Dr. David Scott on Monday, December 1st. and that's 5 until 6 at Payne Elementary School on Franklin Street, 1529 Franklin Street. December the 4th, Thursday, December the 4th, at the Selma Dallas County Public Library, lunch at the library with David Graves. Alabama Faith, Churches and Stained Glass. The tickets are $15. For more information or to make a reservation, you can call 874-1725. The Burnsville Volunteer Fire Department having a Christmas market Saturday on December 6th, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. And of course, we can't say enough good things about a volunteer fire department. You know, we've come a long way in our society and in this country. We're blessed to have police and fire departments in the major urban areas, but there's a lot of rural communities that still have to deal with the threat of an emergency in a fire. And so Burnsville's has a volunteer fire department. You can't get any better than that. So we certainly need to support them, right? Christmas market Saturday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. At 80605 Alabama Highway 14 East. For more information, contact Lindsay Everett at 334-306-4430. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
I just called in this morning to invite everybody out on this Saturday, starting at 12 o'clock for the Boots on the Bridge video that will be shot on the other side of the bridge at the park near the Jubilee gift shop, so right across from the National Voting Rights Museum. Everyone is invited. There's going to be a free fish fry. There's going to be a DJ and some music. There's also going to be some face painting out there for the kids. And we're just asking everyone to come out and support and be a part of the video. It's an absolutely free event. And because democracy and diversity is being threatened right now, and we want everyone to be a part of the solution. We're trying to alleviate all problems and bring about the spirit of inclusion and diversity, where history was made and changed the trajectory here in Selma and the world. And so the Bridge Crossing Jubilee is very important. It commemorates history. It's not that we're living in a pity party or in the past, as I have heard people often say. It is that we are making sure that the history is embraced. We're making sure that it is told accurately, and then to make sure that we're taking the necessary steps to make sure that it is no longer repetitive. We just can't. We can't let the lives of those who marched, who sung, who prayed, who died. We can't let their lives and their legacies be in vain. You know, they didn't even know us, and they did those things for us so that we could live and have what we have right now, the right to vote, education, and so many other things. And I don't just mean the Black culture. I mean, because we did have white counterparts who came and they died martyrs for us, such as the Reverend James Rebb and the late Viola Luiso and so many others that helped. So we're just looking forward to March, the first weekend in March, and we are hoping everyone will come out Saturday. It's a positive event. It's a good way to get some cardio in. You can bring the kids out again. Face painting will be going on. The dance will be going on. And it'll just be a way for everybody to come and commemorate what happened in 1965. History is very, very important, and it's being obliterated by this current administration. Museums that receive any type of federal funding are being shut down. And we need history, not just our history, but we need the history of the Jews, the Holocaust. We need the history of the Irish. We need the history of the Catholics who need religious persecution. We need the history of the Catholics. We need all history, because all history, from all history, we get a cause and an effect. We know what to do and what not to do. And I just thank you for allowing me to speak this and to share this with your listeners on this morning. And let's just have the spirit of inclusion and just stop trying to tear each other down, because your light isn't going to shine any brighter by blowing someone else's light out. But if we put our two candles together, we can get a bigger and a brighter light. Be your brother and sister's keeper, as the word of God says. You know, be the hand and feet of God. Don't try to pull someone out of character. It's, because I am who I say I am. I am what I say I am. And if you have a problem with me, there's no need for an attack on Facebook. Come to me, like God said. Come to me. The word said that you have a problem with your brother or your sister, you come to them and you talk it out. And if y'all can't work it out, you bring in a mediator. These public attacks, it's senseless. You can't tell somebody to march into traffic and die. That's crazy. You don't get to decide what's for a person and what's not for a person. It's in God that we live, breathe, and have our being. And if you're a parent, why would you make a statement like that? Is that that's what you're teaching your kids? That's how you're raising your kids?
Well, I'm going to share a video and just dealing with some of what you're dealing with and talking about in a little while. It's something that's really disturbing, should disturb us all. Now, what time is this? Who's sponsoring it? And what's the name of it?
Okay, it is called Boots on the Bridge. It is being sponsored by Chestnut Sanders and Sanders. The coordinators are Miss Malika Sanders Fortier and her sister, Miss Ainka Sanders Jackson. And it'll start at 12 o'clock in the park on the other side of the bridge. Near the Jubilee gift shop, right across from the National Voting Rights Museum and Institute. And we're going to have some water out there for you, some sodas, and some free fish.
Okay, well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. It sounds like you said it was going to be videoed also.
Yeah, they're going to shoot a video, I guess, to put on the website to promote the upcoming Jubilee in March. And they went with the theme, thanks to Sister Yomi, Boots on the Bridge, due to the popular.
Yeah, the song and all of everybody's doing boots on the ground. Yeah, okay.
Put our boots down. Military people, they put their boots on when they're getting ready to go out in combat or war or training, because you have to be properly equipped when you're getting on the field to deal with certain things. And that's what the theme is. And we're putting on our boots physically, but spiritually we're putting them on as well, trying to get ready to deal with some things such as voting rights, education, health care, infrastructure, equality, expungement, and having people's voting rights restored once they pay their debt to society, and allowing them to, re-enter into society and become a part of society again, and being able to be a voice for their children until their children can be a voice for themselves.
Well, thank you so much. I got to get ready to take a break. Anything else before we let you go?
No, let's do better here in Selma. Selma, let's rise and shine. That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Well, you heard it tomorrow, 12 noon, in the Foot Soldiers Park on the Selmon side of the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
The showroom condition demands cutting-edge technology. That's what you get at the all-new George's.
Boy, you got to do.
After tornado damage total reconstruction, George's has the latest advanced technology, especially designed for today's multi-tech vehicles. The Bosch calibration system restores safety features like lane departure and collision sensors. The two new Chief frame machines and computer laser measuring system delivers pinpoint accuracy down to the millimeter. And the two new downdraft paint booth units provide perfect quality refinishing. And with the reconstruction comes a much larger facility designed for an increased capacity and quicker turnaround time. George's deals directly with your insurance company, but they work for you. Call to schedule your estimate and repairs today. See the pros, Eric and Scooter Hagen at George's Paint and Body Shop, 1215 J.L. Chestnut Jr. Boulevard, or call 334-872-1441. The all-new George's Paint and Body Shop has reopened in Selma. By George. Hello, everybody. G-Man here. Did you know that Alabama is located in what is known as the stroke belt? Right here in our listening area, 43.4% prevalence of adults who repeatedly suffered from high blood pressure. Other risk factors include high cholesterol, diabetes, obesity, and smoking, which can all lead to serious health problems and even death. I was one of those who used to pay very little attention until I had another heart attack and had a really hard time walking due to blockage in my circulatory system. I thank the good Lord every day that my physician referred me to AVS, Alabama Vascular Specialist, for Dr. Ralph Red, Dr. Irwin White Giddens, and Dr. Richard Tan. Lead a team of professionals that truly care about their patients and get to the root of their patients' vascular problems. Then provide the care needed to get them on the road to recovery. If it weren't for AVS, I don't know if I would be here talking to you today. 334-801-9952. Check them online at alabamavascularspecialist.com.
1490 WHBB. Good morning on this Friday morning. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Hello. Are you still there, caller? Evidently not. 875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. I was talking about also, we're going through the community bulletin board and church calendar, and I left off at the Burnsville Fire Department. And, these volunteer fire departments are really critical when it comes to public safety. And, and again, I think we underestimate how expensive it is to operate a fire department or a police department properly. And these guys, they volunteer and they risk their lives to help save others. And so they're having their Christmas market Saturday, December 6th, 8 until 2, 8605 Alabama Highway 14 East. You'll see it, the Burnsville Fire Volunteer Fire Department. Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Yeah, can you hear me now, Mandy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. In addition to what that lady said, let me just tell you this joke first. I spent a lot of time just looking at the internet, and one of the older women joke was the best thing about dating a homeless person is that you can drop them off anywhere. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
The advantage of being a homeless man is that you can drop him off anywhere. That's the way the lady said. But let me just also mention, and I'm glad this lady called about, in getting prepared for the Jubilee. It's kind of like a pre-Jubilee festival that they are having. I guess because I came from the city of festivals, that's one of the reasons I kept saying that we needed to have a major thing here in Selma. I have another suggestion. Because of the stress that Mr. Trump has put us all through, I would like for the people at the Voters' Rights a museum, the people, someone who has that ability to contact every state and see if we can get buses of people from every state, or these civil rights organizations or whatever organizations, because we've done that in the past. Will you invite those people? Your contact, use your contact, and invite them to bring a bus load to Selma for the Jubilee. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because we just need, we need people to really get the knowledge of what is going on and why it needs to be. And we can get some of these mobilize some of these other communities to participate in the Jubilee this year. I think that will help get the word out so we can, give people better education about what we need to be about, what our tribe. We just got to continue to work on these things. We must continue to work on these things. I also like to suggest to people, YouTube, when you get a chance, if you can put it up on your TV, YouTube, University of Alabama, did a wonderful series on people that they interviewed. Many of them, I'm sure, deceased now. But I know my brother, Bill, worked very strongly with that group in Dale County and Greenville, all of those areas down there, and also with that. I know because my brother is sharing some of the meaning that he had to do, because he said, if he had not taken care of my brother, when my brother would get injured when he was out there on the fight, on the line, fighting. Many of the injuries that my brother had was not shared with the public. So I just wanted to share that because as I continue to work on the information that I have always done, for some reason, I can't help but feel this probably people don't know about it. My instrumental teacher in teaching me about evangelism. And that's the reason I've always worked behind the scenes in order to put these issues out so we can improve our community. So I'm very grateful and very appreciative for all of the changes that we have brought up. Because when I came here, I was crying and I asked my mother, I said, Mother, what happened? Why? What happened to Selma? And she said, Baby, we are just tired. Don't wear our people out again, you all. We just have to work tirelessly. So I just wanted to share that with you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for calling 875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. And you can also join us live on Facebook. And I got a couple of things that I've been running across in terms of some of the YouTube videos. What I'm getting ready to play now is, and you can see this on the YouTube channel as well. Going to Chicago, this was Monday. You know, so when I asked the question about where we are as a community, these are some of the reasons why I asked. Yeah, I'll start there, and then I'm going to get into this whole idea about protesting really is an American uh, phenomenon, but it's not didn't start in America. There's been many other places where people have had protests, but our form of government allows for it. Other forms of government are not as not as friendly, shall we say, and then we take it too far sometimes. But Dr. King um, borrowed from a lot of different ideologies. And of course, he found that the most effective, one of the most effective forms of direct action, nonviolent action, was when Mahatma Gandhi perfected it. And so he took the model that Mahatma Gandhi had used to challenge the system, to make changes, and he combined it with Christian values and principles. And so, and that was actually a culmination. That wasn't new because it really came about. If you go all the way back in terms of the United States to the end of the Civil War and the kinds of protests that were going on, the women's suffrage movement. I was when Alabama celebrated its 200th birthday. I met uh, the president of the women's organization. I've forgotten the name. I should be ashamed of not remembering who they are because they're very powerful. But what she told me, she says, well, the women's suffrage movement started in Selma. The first meeting was in Selma, is what she said. And I believe it was at what is now the Chamber of Commerce. But anyway, that's another story. So now this is something that I need to share um, with you out of Chicago. Um, and this is Lawrence Jones with Fox News, the African American commentator that's doing this story, I believe. And what's crazy about this thing is a group of kids attack a mother and child outside of school, and again, I say, well, now, what in the world? How is it that we have become so violent in our society that children are practicing this kind of violence? I think it's really, really sad. And, what's interesting is I hear people speak out about a lot of stuff, but they don't speak out about incidents like what I'm getting ready to share with you. And I have to ask myself why. Why are we not as vocal when it comes to unruly uh, behavior, or even I'll say disruptive? Um, one of these days I'm going to try and get Reverend B.L. Tucker to come on. It's hard to get him. Hard to get him to open up and talk. He can't talk about everything he knows because it would dispel all these half truths that we hear because he was there. But he many times can share his wisdom because he also was a bodyguard for Dr. King when he would come to Selma. There's a famous picture of Dr. King and Reverend Reese kneeling to pray, and I believe Jose Williams, and it's Reverend B.L. Tucker that is standing over them. And so let me say good morning to Reverend Tucker. But this is from Chicago. This is Fox News, and it's on YouTube. Let's see what we got. I hope there's not there's a couple. I haven't actually watched the whole thing myself, so I'm hoping that there's no profanity. If so, I'll try to beep it if I can. But forgive me if something gets through. They're only children, so children don't curse, huh? What did I just say? Anyway, let's see. Let's see what this is.
So outraged in Chicago after video captures a mother and her 9-year-old son being harassed and then badly beaten by grade school children while walking near a school. We talked to two leaders of that Chicago community in just a moment, but first, let's go to Mike Tobin live there with the details. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning. Parents and, frankly, people all over Chicago are now kind of horrified and outraged at this video that's not going viral. It has gone viral, of a mother and a 9-year-old son who were mobbed and beaten by a group of school-age bullies. Now, the video is a bit brutal, so be ready for that. But it shows this mother and the aggressiveness of the kids increasing as Korshwanda Hatter tries to protect her son. Finally, this mob of youngsters started to strike Korshwanda and her 9-year-old son. They were both knocked to the ground, and the beating continued.
Hey, let my homie go. Let my homie go. Let my
She says her son had been bullied at. She says her son had been bullied at school for 2 years, and the school did nothing to protect him, so she showed up to walk her kids home. Now, Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson did say, he put out a statement on X that he was deeply disturbed and we should not attempt to normalize this type of senseless violence. Chicago police put out a statement saying both victims were transported to Trinity Hospital in serious condition. No one is in custody at this time. The are investigating. And Illinois State Senator Willie Preston said this video is a symptom of something that's been going on for a long time, that the kids have not been held accountable and the parents have been held accountable for the actions of their children. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. So our next guest of Williams met with the mom after the attack, and Pastor Corey Brooks, founder of Project Hood, knows the boy who attends his after-school and summer programs. Pastor, this is something that you have been working with for years now, trying to stop nonsense like this with our young people. What's going on?
Well, unfortunately, this is the cycle that we continue to see in the city of Chicago, where violence is so rampant and parents are being held unaccountable. And that's the reason why so they can understand the magnitude of the issues that we're faced with every single day. Chicago is just a microcosm of what's going on across America. These young people are unruly. They have no moral compass. And we need organizations to really work hard to make sure we change the direction of our neighborhoods. If we're ever going to change the trajectory of our young people, we got to catch them early. We got to continue to do the work. But the tragedy is, in Chicago right now, we're facing some devastation that has been going on for years, and we need to get a handle on it.
This is what the mother had to say about this incident. Let's play it.
I'm trying to get justice for my son. They fought my son, they hit my son first, all in his face. Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair.
We haven't held these kids accountable. We haven't held parents accountable. No mother should be that helpless and be targeted by children inside of our own community.
Councilman, where's the fear and respect? I remember growing up, We were afraid of the neighbors because we knew that they was going to get us, and then our parents was going to get us when we got home as well. It exists anymore, Councilman?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we've gone away from that, and we have to get back to those days. I think no mother and child comfortable putting their hands on an adult. And I think, as Senator Preston said, and many have said it, is that this has gone on for so long, right? The mother has come to the school and talked about this, and nothing had been done about it. It had not been addressed. And the thing about it is that, I was glad to be there to be a support to that family. Even than just that school. This is happening throughout the Chicago public school system. Many children are being bullied. We have to put measures in place and make sure that those parents' voices are being heard and that those children's voices are being heard. Because if not, this can really overspill into something even bigger, I believe.
It's so true, Councilman, and it's already spilling into the streets outside of the school. Pastor, I want to get your comments on this repeat offender in Chicago with a lengthy rap sheet. He's accused of setting a woman on fire while they're on the train.
So this is the type of leadership that we have in Chicago. We have children who are being held unaccountable, and we also have criminals who are being set free. That's one of the reasons why we have so much recidivism. That's one of the reasons why we are experiencing the type of atmosphere of violence that we have in Chicago. These individuals are not being held accountable, and then you have these policies that are being by our legislature and by our government that sometimes help the criminal. On this cycle with the leadership that we have in place, we're going to continue to see our community go in a downward spiral. We're going to continue to be the laughing stock of America. We're going to be, it may look like we're one of the best cities or voted one of the best cities externally, but internally we all know the serious issues that we have inside of Chicago, and it all falls and rises on leadership.
Councilman, I'm already over time, but I have to ask you this question. We know how Chicago is run. We know how Illinois is. It's all blue. Is it time to explore something else? Because something is not working, and it's only one side that's in charge right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this. I'll say invest into those nonprofits that are on the ground doing the work. We got to make sure we're building more community centers so our children have someone to play, and we got to put the investment where it needs to go. Some of those things that you're saying are mental health issues. We got to really invest and put it into people. And when we see that, we see a greater Chicago, a greater community, and greater people.
I'm all for investment, but I want the bad guys to not be able to go into those centers as well when people are trying to get help. Councilman, Pastor, thanks so much for joining the program.
And so, yeah, so that's what's happening in Chicago. And, I have been criticized, and no, I have been accused by my critics of promoting self-hate. Responsibility and accountability.
I am recording. I'm recording right here. I am telling you right now.
And the minister with Walk Across America. The leadership is a big part of the problem. And everybody wants to lead. Everybody wants you to follow what they're doing. But the very people who are looking to influence and get you to follow them, I ask the question, where? Where do we go from it? Is that what we're talking about producing? Freedom has its limits. Does freedom, is freedom promoting that kind of reckless violence? Children Well, now you say, well, Randy, that's Chicago. Well, just this week in Montgomery, a teenager has been accused of murder of a 13-year-old girl that was sleeping in her bed. That's not Chicago. And I could go on and down the list because we got some issues here in Selma and Birmingham and Alabama too. There's something wrong with that picture. Something has gone wrong. And so why are we not outraged about these kinds of things? Now, I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I got to get ready to take a break, but I want to play this one off. Some of this. I don't know. This is kind of long. And no, this is not the one that, but still, this is a whole nother situation. This is Fairhope, Alabama. You know, I tell you, like I say, I'm a freedom of speech person, you know, but the question becomes, is there a place where you cross the line in the moral compass, as the other gentleman pointed out, has been, as I often say as well, has been thrown away. We don't have a moral compass in many places anymore. Now, this is Fairhope, Alabama. They had this protest, No King's Day, right? And I know it was a lot of LGBTQ plus activism on that day across the country, and many paid protesters. These guys, this is different from the 60s. People in the 60s weren't being paid to march or march across the bridge. But the folks that marched from Selma to Montgomery weren't on the payroll. But that's another story as well. But this is a deal in Fairhope where a 61-year-old woman dresses up as a penis as part of her protest and is confronted by a colonel, police officer. Now, and this is a white lady. This is not the Fairhope, you know. The last time I went to Fairhope, I don't call it being majority black. I believe it's just the opposite. In fact, I took Miss Richie Jean Jackson. I was her PR person and photographer, and she had a book signing in Fairhope. And so they're really conservative, but they're also they're liberal too in terms of, well, you know, anytime I see a bookstore, books kind of imply open-mindedness. And so, you know, so it's a very literate community. Fairhope's very literate. But this lady she went a little bit too far. And this is, and so now she has a legal team because she was arrested for resisting arrest. And it was one other charge. She had disorderly conduct, which are both misdemeanors. But anyway, let's play the video, see what you think about this. If you're not on YouTube, then you can listen. You get the idea.
Attack. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. If my kids had to come by and how would you explain it to them?
Are you recording?
I am recording. I'm recording right here. I am telling you right now, if my kids had to come by and see this, I would like to hear how you would explain to my children what you're supposed to be.
What a pun is?
I want you.
Understand what a pun is?
Let me get another unit over here. I want you to tell me. I want you to tell me why.
Being detained is not. I'm going to go ahead and go.
I'm telling you right now. I am telling you right now.
You know, a 61-year-old woman, her costume is of a penis with testicles. So there's no mistaking about what it is. And one of the people that's with her, the man that's with her, is wearing a T-shirt that says Antifa Man, for all of those people who say Antifa doesn't exist. Let me continue.
On your belly. On your belly. I told her to take it off. Give me your arm. Give me your arm.
She's gonna take it off.
Give me your arm. I want your arm now. I need somebody. Give me your arm now.
She's walking away.
I told her to take it off.
Right here. And what orders was she in violation of?
It's disorderly conduct.
You could not cite.
It's disorderly conduct.
I checked
All right,
your
grab this arm.
Just walking away. You're trying to get away from you. Trying to behave.
Got it. Yep.
15 seconds and she was walking away.
Other arm. This is a family town, and I'm not going to have somebody out here dressed like this. You understand? This isn't abusive.
Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Yeah, well, I just thought I'd call back and let you know. I'm talking about my brother Nolan, my middle brother. My top brother's been here shooting Selma. I used to think Selma College. But anyway, I also wanted to also mention that I got a chance to pull up the Pierce head woman. It looks like Stephen Miller to me. Stephen Miller. I always thought that about him when I used to read about him when he grew up in California and all the time that he spent in North Carolina in school. I just the Pierce was just like Stephen Miller Jr. Thank you.
Okay, all right. 875-1490 and 1492. I wanted to share that with you to show you, just how out of control protesting has gotten in crossing, how offensive it is to anyone with morals. And so, but they say now, they use that and say, oh, well, freedom of speech. I wouldn't be surprised if they dismiss the charges because of her freedom of speech. But his thing was, hey, you're embarrassing me. And if my children have to see a penis walking around in the street with an American flag and Antifa next to it, huh? Anyway, and that's Alabama. So so you know what's happening in Portland and in some of these other states that have gone all the way. Let's take this break.
We're with Barry Parker and our friends at Reliable Chevrolet at GMC. 80 years, Barry.
That's right, George. We've been right here at the same location at 14th Lawrence Street. Also the same family, the Porter family. Bill is here and has his two sons, John and Will. And soon they'll be taking over. So there'll be a third generation that has had the ownership of Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
Now let's talk about what's going on with Chevrolet and GMC. We're coming up on the end of the year. Big time discounts on these 25s that you got left.
That's right, George. We're moving them out right and left. If you're in the market for a 2025 model, I encourage you to come down, get them while they're still available, because the 26s are here and we got more coming. So we got to make room for whatever your transportation needs are. We can take care of them right here. And let us get you fixed up so you can be riding today.
Not forget about the pre-owned side and service.
That's right. We've got all kind of makes and models on the pre-owned inventory, from cars to trucks to SUV. And when it comes to getting your vehicle serviced, we have the top service department in Central Alabama right here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC.
And is that fifth oil change still free?
Always free, not just your first fifth, every fifth oil change, regardless of how many vehicles you have in the family, each one stands on its own.
To get in touch with Reliable Chevrolet and GMC, what do we do?
872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com, or best, just come visit us right here at 14th Lawrence Street in downtown Selma.
At Reliable, where they truly have it all. Gray's Furniture on Broad and Selma sells appliances. Come check out the great buys on good quality GE and High Point appliances on the floor inside Gray's. They sell, deliver, install, and will haul away your old one. Gray's on Broad simply has gorgeous furniture for every room in your home. Mattresses by Sealy, Ashley, and Capital. Financing is available. Open 9:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 10 to 3 Saturdays. Gray's on Broad at the same location for over 60 years. Furniture so nice to come home.
1490 WHBB Selma. Let's get ready for the news. I'll see you on the other side of the news for the final hour of the Friday morning Viewpoint. It's 9 o'clock.
I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. American diplomats presenting both Kyiv and Moscow with a plan to end the war in Ukraine as it approaches the 4-year mark.
The president supports this plan. It's a good plan for both Russia and Ukraine, and we believe that it should be acceptable to both sides, and we're working very hard to get it done.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who denied reports that the plan favors Russia more than Ukraine. The plan reportedly includes security guarantees for Ukraine, but also the loss of some of its territory. Sources say the U.S. is threatening to withhold weapons and intelligence. Ukraine's President Zelensky says Ukraine is facing the choice of losing a major partner or its dignity. It says Ukraine is at one of the most difficult moments of its history, even as Russian attacks continue, a glide bomb killing 5 people in a residential area of Zaporizhia. Will there be peace at the White House today? After weeks of verbally bashing the other, President Trump will meet with New York City's Mayor-elect Mamdani.
My team reached out to the White House to set up this meeting because I will work with anyone to make life more affordable for the more than 8.5 million people involved with City Hall.
The president has called Mamdani a communist and warns
he has to be a little bit respectful of Washington, because if he's not, he doesn't have a chance of succeeding. And I want to make him succeed. I want to make the city succeed.
Several congressional Democrats of sedition for a video recently posted,
saying their words are dangerous and seditious behavior from traitors, lock them up, and later saying punishable by death. It comes in response to video of former military and intelligence Democrats encouraging active military members to refuse orders from the Trump administration they feel are illegal.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Federal judges upholding several U.S. House districts drawn by North Carolina Republicans, rejecting claims those new maps were racially gerrymandered. America's listening to Fox News.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, and eBay subsidiary.
This is the time of the year most of us are checking off our holiday gift list. Identity thieves have lists too, and your personal information might be on that list. Protect your identity with LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every single second and alerts you to the threats you could miss yourself. If your identity is stolen, your own U.S.-based restoration specialist is going to work to fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Make this season about joy, not identity theft, with LifeLock. Save up to 40% off your first year at LifeLock.com with the promo code BECK. Terms apply.
On Wall Street, the Dow opening higher, trading up about 160 points in early trading after losing nearly 400 points yesterday. The NASDAQ and the S&P 500 both up as well, about 16 points each. The Justice Department subpoenaed and apparently received telephone records of House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan for more than 2 years, starting in 2022.
They gathered information that told them who I called, who called me, when we called each other, when the call took place, how long the call was, and where I was at when I made that call.
Jordan telling Fox's Hannity it's the epitome of the weaponization of the Justice Department. The records requested by a federal prosecutor who later worked on special counsel Jack Smith probe of then presidential candidate Donald Trump. The federal government suing the state of California again.
The Department of Justice suing California to block in-state tuition benefits for undocumented immigrant students, claiming this illegally discriminates against U.S. citizens. In California, applicants, including undocumented students who have graduated from its high schools or meet education requirements at other institutions there, are exempted from paying out-of-state rates at the University of California and California State University. The suit, which names California Governor Gavin Newsom and others, is also seeking to block those students from applying for state-funded financial aid. A Newsom spokesperson calling this one of the 3 meritless, politically motivated suits the DOJ's filed against the state in 1 week. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
The Trump administration proposing opening federal waters offshore for both California and Florida for oil drilling. For the first time in decades, legal challenges are expected. Federal air safety investigators have released frame-by-frame photos of that ill-fated UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville, showing the left engine literally flying off. The TSB says they found evidence of cracks in the plane's engine mounts. I'm Jack Callahan. This is Fox News.
Your 1490 WHBB weekend weather forecast. Lots of clouds today, will be in the mid-70s and a 60% chance of afternoon scattered showers through early this evening, our low near 63. For tomorrow morning, cloudy early, 20% chance of scattered showers lingering through midday. Then by tomorrow afternoon, partly sunny with a high in the upper 70s. All clear by tomorrow night, back down to 52. Sunny, beautiful, and dry for Sunday with a high of 75. Sunday night, partly cloudy, a little cooler, down to the upper 40s. And for Monday, sunshine with a high in the upper 70s. By Thanksgiving, we'll be cooled down a lot. Stay tuned. That's your weekend weather. From AM 1490, WHBB.
Good morning, I'm Jacqueline Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Friday. Happening this weekend, the city of Montgomery is hosting a massive turkey giveaway starting Saturday, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. City leaders will be giving away turkeys at the Walmart Supercenter on Ann Street. The mayor says it's a direct response to the government shutdown to support local families during this holiday season. They will start handing out turkeys tomorrow at 8 a.m. while supplies last, so be sure to get there early. Also, a lot of holiday fun this weekend, including parades, ice skating, and more. Later on this evening, the magical Christmas parade will roll at the Shop Cities Chase in Montgomery. That starts at 6 p.m. Get ready to see the tree lighting there, hear live music, and of course, see Santa. Also today, the Nutcracker returns to Impact, the Montgomery Performing Arts Center. That show starts at 7 p.m. For a full list of weekend events, visit WSFA.com/the rundown. I'm Jasmine Williams, your morning headline.
1490 WHBB. Good morning. 334-875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. You can also join us live on YouTube on the selmapostherald.com YouTube channel. There's a link on the homepage of selmapostherald.com after the third story. I think after what story? After the swearing in ceremony. I have to remember the swearing in ceremony. This morning, I'm featuring some other videos and some other stories from around the country. Well, the last one was not from around the country. That was in Fairhope, Alabama, where the 61-year-old woman was dressed as a penis. It had to be 6 or 7 feet tall, maybe 8 feet tall. And one of the police officers, a colonel, arrested her for disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. And this is a white Caucasian woman. And the Caucasian man that was with her, that was standing next to her, had an Antifa shirt on. It said Antifa man. You know, a lot of people say Antifa doesn't exist, even though they're firebombing buildings, right? They don't exist. You know, that's what these false narratives. It's almost like second nature is the way they lie so much until it's become normalized, and it's second nature for people some of these guys just to lie. Now, I said that I was going to start because when people make these different accusations or bring up points and ask me these questions and where's your proof and all that kind of stuff, well, I'm developing a little library of proof on some issues. And this next video is, this is something I'm really concerned about because I understand it's getting ready to become an issue again in Alabama with the library association. They're getting ready to, they're having some more problems with these books. Now, you know, I'm all about knowledge. And thank God for the libraries. The library was a real good companion for me as I was growing up. But the issue is, and the question is, what's age appropriate? And, you know, we have some people, I guess, I don't even know, I will call them liberal, that first of all, you got a group that's in denial. They don't want to admit that this is even happening anywhere, right? And so to them, I say, well, let's see what happens when you're presented with the evidence. Now, this is a parent that is addressing a school board. And she is reading from materials that she found, I think this is middle school, in a middle school library, not public library, public school libraries, for those who say this does not exist. I'm exaggerating, right? Let's listen to what, let's see what the parent has to say about this so-called exaggeration and problems that don't exist. And what's interesting is check out how the school board reacts. See, they want to kick it under the rug. They want to hide it. They are misinformed and don't want to know, don't want people to know the truth. But here we go, because they had to let us speak for a minute at least on the agenda.
No, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Natalie Slonick. I have two daughters that have been attending Maple Grove High School. I'm here tonight expressing concerns with the sexually graphic books found in our school. What Girls Are Made Of by Alina Arnold is currently in our school libraries. The book starts with Nina's mother telling her there is no such thing as unconditional love. Love is conditional upon sex and beauty. Nina, at age 14, takes this lesson to heart. Nina states, Seth and I met in 5th grade, but he didn't love me until last summer. Even now, I'm aware that his love for me is conditional. Condition number 1, sex. It's okay with me. I love it. It didn't hurt much the first time and has gotten better since. Page 19. I laid a towel on the sheet in case I bled.
Natalie,
and then I watched Seth roll.
I'm going to interrupt you for a minute. I'm sorry. Last month we had some kids in the audience and some of the language was offensive to some.
Okay, that's exactly it. So I think we should continue, Jackie, because that's exactly my point. 100%. Page 19. I laid a towel on the sheet case I bled.
Hold on. As I requested, I would like decorum in the audience as well. Okay, I just want to, so far it's been okay, but I just want to warn you about who may be in the audience. That was all I was going to say.
Okay, so I could continue?
Yes.
Page 19. I laid a towel on the sheet in case I bled. And then I watched Seth roll the condom over his penis. I watched his hands push into the flesh of my thighs, spreading them apart. And I watched him maneuver his latex wrapped erection as he pushed and tried to get inside. The book continues. For their 3rd month anniversary, Seth gets Nina a vibrator because no matter how much he licks her, he can't get her to come. Page 57. I pull him out of his underwear. He's soft in my hand. I don't look up at his face before I open my mouth, and I pull him into it. And I pull and I suck until he grows hard. And I keep going and going. When he says, I'm going to come, I don't pull away. The jet of him is warm and salty and tastes like thickened sweat. Page 58. She was talking about worshiping Jesus, but come on, she was talking about sex, right? Sex with Jesus. That's what she wanted, to give Jesus head. And I totally understand it. You want to consume the person you love. You want to eat him so he's inside of you. So he's a part of you so he can't leave. Chewing the flesh and drinking the blood of Jesus every Sunday in church, swallowing Seth's cum, is it different? Is it?
Point of order. I just don't think this is appropriate for a school board meeting. We
Well,
do have an
that's
adult
exactly-
process to review a
No,
book,
and I get it.
believe
And
that
this is
your
where I'm
language
going.
is
I'm going to
inappropriate.
exactly that policy. Page 107, Nina is pregnant and at Planned Parenthood talking to the female staff member, Angie, who had an abortion. Nina asked her, "Are you sorry?" Angie shakes her head and said, "I don't believe in God," she said, "but if I did, I thank him every day for both of my abortions." Page 126, Nina, after having an abortion, states, the abortion was the kindest, best thing that I've done for myself as long as I can remember. I've gotten interrupted, so I'm just going to finish. This book encourages teens to become sexually active, stating it's a requirement for dating. It normalizes sex, masturbation, and abortions. Our district does not have a policy in place protecting children from printed pornography, which is exactly what this book is. There needs to be a policy for printed materials that restricts these books from getting into our schools. Our current district policy 441 is our internet policy, which is in place to protect minors from online content.
You have gone over time, and she paused for the interruptions.
I've had a number, and I'm just finished.
She paused for the interruptions. You're over time. Thank you.
And you see, this is what is happening across the country. As Christian values are under attack, that's just the bottom line. Or if I remove myself from the a Christian environment and say the moral compass, is that better? Morality. Most people should understand what being moral is about. And so she read from a book that's in the school library, high school library. And the school board member wanted to stop her because she thought it was inappropriate. Well, it was inappropriate to read at a school board meeting. Why would the school board approve a book like that to be in the library in the building? It's not age appropriate. She said they have, again, you keep hearing this word that I use a lot, policy. And the policy of that school board is not prohibiting pornography or pornographic materials, written materials in the public schools. And we wonder why. We wonder why some of these children are out of control and have no moral compass. Well, if it's not at home and then you go to school and it gets even further out of whack, what do you expect is going to happen? Now, I think I've got two more, but this next one I'm going to play gets a little graphic. And this is an 11-year-old child that is reading a book from his school.
Hi, my name's Knox Zajac. I'm 11 years old and I go to Wyndham Middle School. I'm a 6th grader. I was in the library and this book was on a stand. I'd like to read you a page. My back over my hips as I ask if we should take our clothes off. And he's saying yes before I finish my sentence. He's pulling off my t-shirt, laughing when I can't undo his shirt buttons. He's undoing my belt. I'm reaching into his bedside drawer for a condom. We're kissing. Again, we're rolling over. Obviously, you can see where this is going. I don't know if it's because we're feeling especially emotional or just tired, or these past couple of weeks have been too much. But this reminds me so much of the first time we had sex. We were both fucking terrified, and the whole thing was kind of terrible because we didn't know what we were doing. But it was good too, so good, because we were a mess of emotions, and we were scared and excited, and everything felt new. So this sort of feels like that. Nick touches me like he's scared that any minute. Now, this book was at my middle school, and it was on a stand. When I rented it out to show my dad it, the librarian asked if I wanted more and if I wanted a graphic novel version.
Oh, boy. So I'm that kid's father.
Okay, good. I was asking for you.
Yeah, I'll take another 3 minutes. So that's my son.
Okay.
11 years old, and went to his library and found that this is the smut that he is finding, all right? I don't care whether it's gay, straight, bisexual, whatever the terms are for all this stuff, doesn't need to be at our school. Doesn't need to be at my 11-year-old's library. And then as far as genderqueer, I've got a son in the high school as well. And this is bullshit. We know it, all right? We do not need to be having literature that's showing boys how to suck dick, all right? I'm very, very frustrated about it, okay? And you may think that schools know the best for our children. You know who know the best for our children? The parents. And if you remember this, I was here last year talking about masks, and I even offered you proper usage for a mask, and you said I was bullying. And you know what I would like to say to everybody right now? Where are we a year later, and what has changed why you don't wear your masks right now? So what has changed in the medical field that is showing you that you don't have to wear masks now? So like I said, listen to the parents. I can tell you right now, I don't work anymore, and I will be more than happy to focus my time and effort to the security of my child and children in this school, all right? I will be a thorn in your sides. So I just want you to be aware of what you've woken, okay? I'm sure that a lot of you guys are fine and great people and have nothing but the best intentions for our children. But by the fact that this has to take 4 months for a school to get this book out of the library is ridiculous. The parents are here right now and they're speaking, and you need to listen and do something about it quickly. Thank you.
Now, that particular situation was California. I don't know where I think the other one may have been either California or Virginia, and the woman dressed as a penis was here in Alabama. And so for those who say this doesn't exist, right? This is not going on. You're exaggerating, with these policies. Many of which have been part of the Democratic platform. I'm not done yet because I'm gonna get. Like I said, I've been running a little bit behind, but it's God willing, it's coming. We're going to get into what these platforms say now, because the platform nationally does not necessarily mean that it reflects our local culture, And the struggle continues. The fight is not over, And so for me, my question is, well, do you mean to tell me that Dr. King's direct nonviolent movement was to help promote the kind of sexual promiscuity that many of these policies promote, and that people promote all of this unruliness and disrespect and ungodliness, but then they'll use the same tactics because they found that Dr. King's tactics worked. And they say, oh, well, we'll see if we can borrow some of these tactics and apply them to our so-called movement. But I guess they've got a movement too. And their movement is the total annihilation of morals, is what it looks like to me. And what does it result in? It results in people that end up with these emotional problems. They're the ones that are doing these mass shootings. These bullies, like the ones that beat up on the mother and her children at a school, outside of the school, they're the ones that are doing the shooting other teenagers and murdering and stabbing each other. But no, I need to close my eyes and pretend that it doesn't exist, because if I say anything about it, I'm promoting self-hate. No, I'm telling the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, I'm sorry. For those who it is, I know it's not the majority of folks. There's only a handful that want attention, that want to be right, but they don't understand the not just the danger, but the destruction that it's creating in the community. And nobody can tell me that there's something right even about the guy. No, it was Chicago again, wasn't it? Yeah. And we know they got to be corrupt in Chicago. The guy that set somebody on fire, on a public transportation train, and the judge lets him go, and he already has been convicted of 10 or 15 crimes and been arrested 30 times for violent crimes. It makes me think and makes me wonder, is somebody on the take or what? How do you justify that? Or do you just want to intentionally terrorize the South Side of Chicago? Let's take this break. I've got one more to share with you. We'll be back with more right after this.
Great season ahead at Cotton State Barn. From holiday storage to spring and summer yard work, there is a Cotton State Barn perfect for you. It's always zero down, no credit check, free delivery, and low monthly rent-to-own payments. On Alabama's top-rated, #1 selling portable barns. And don't forget 90 days savings cash. Cotton State Barns are built in Alabama for Alabama. Visit the website, cottonstatebarns.com, to see all the models, including brand new styles and sizes. Take a tour of the 19 different models, styles, and sizes, and find a dealer near you at cottonstatebarns.com. It's the highest quality and most affordable storage solution with the industry.
What's on your cotton picking, pea shelling, corn shucking mind?
And free delivery anywhere in Alabama. Cotton State Barns, built in Alabama for Alabama. CottonStateBarns.com.
Not all models qualify for zero down restrictions may apply.
Terry Hughes at Hughes Body Shop reminds you the white-tailed deer can do some damage to your vehicle. Hughes Body Shop, 334-875-4470. Your deer damage vehicle repair specialist. Hughes Body Shop.
Congratulations to Peak Insurance, recently voted best insurance agency in the Summertime Journal Reader's Choice Awards. And a big round of applause for Lauren Adams, named Best Customer Service Representative. And for Chase Utsey, voted Best Insurance Agent.
We want to take a moment to say something very important. Thank you. Thank you to our loyal customers who continue to trust us with your insurance needs year after year. Your confidence means everything to us. I'm Owen Peak. At Peak Insurance, we're proud to be the only locally owned independent insurance agency in Dallas County. From helping you choose the right coverage to standing by your side if you ever have a claim. We represent many great insurance companies, but we work for you. We're also honored to be the exclusive representative of Auto Owners Insurance in Dallas County, along with many other top-rated carriers. So once again, from all of us here at Peak Insurance, thank you for your loyalty and thank you for your confidence. Stop by and see us at 1003 Broad Street in Selma. Call today or visit peakinsurance.com. Peak coverage, peak service, Peak Insurance.
Saturday, don't miss Auburn football.
Play action throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown Auburn! It's Daniels around the left gate. Can he get to the corner? He does. And fire! Touchdown Daniels!
The Tigers are back at Jordan Hare Stadium against the Mercer Bears. Live coverage begins with the Tiger Tailgate Show at 10 a.m. Only on the Auburn Sports Network.
1490 WHBB. Good morning. Now, I'm getting ready to switch gears a little bit. Senator Tommy Tuberville has called on the impeachment of the judge that has been allowing a lot of the attacks on investigations on President Trump. And but in a rare statement from the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice implied that he doesn't agree with impeaching a judge, that the appellate process should be able to handle that. Well, I don't know. That's a legal thing. So now, in a related story, I can relate it because I think it's highly inappropriate for 6 Democratic lawmakers now, are encouraging troops not to obey orders, and they're calling them unlawful orders. But what is an unlawful order? that's one of the, that's a military issue also. And, you have to really know when something inhumane is being practiced. And so these Democratic lawmakers are saying that deporting illegal immigrants, criminals in many cases, is unlawful. It's not constitutional. And, and the first thing that comes to my mind is I say, well, so when did a person that's not a citizen have rights guaranteed by the Constitution? If I go to Mexico, or if I go to England or France or China or Russia or any African nation as an American citizen, and I don't have dual citizenship, and I break the law, or no, not even if I break the law, if I don't leave when my passport says my visiting time is expired, well, what kind of rights do you think I'll be extended? They'll throw my butt in jail. And we keep seeing it. We got a number of people still that are being held in prison overseas, for minor, really what we would consider minor, because they were not citizens. But we have people in this country that want to extend every courtesy to people who are not citizens, and it appears that their agenda is so that they can increase the rolls to be able to get as many congressional seats that will tilt the balance of power politically. Don't matter how we get it, legally, illegally, I don't care. Do what I got to do to win, and win at all costs. But now I'm going to play. So again, I'm not going by hearsay. These are the senators. What you're getting ready to hear, and if you're on YouTube and see, is what these Democratic lawmakers are calling for. And, when I think about the kind of chaos that could ensue, the good news is they don't have as much influence as they think. And I suspect that they're so out of touch with the grassroots and with America and with the average American, until this is a good thing that they are. But what it does reveal is they're so bent on power and control until they don't care who they hurt. And when you start playing with your military, it's almost like the Secretary of Duffy, the Secretary of Transportation, said, my goodness, public safety, that's the wrong area to politicize. You got hundreds of people on a plane. You want to play with their lives, play politics with their lives, as long as you're not on it. But so this is the ad that these Democratic lawmakers, these congressional lawmakers, and they happen to be Democrats, this is what they've done. Here we go.
I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
and intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath
to protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law
or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
the Army, or Navy,
the Air Force,
your vigilance is critical.
And know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
the American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws,
our Constitution, and who we are as Americans. Don't give up Don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up the ship. I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin.
Senator Mark Kelly. Representative Chris DeLuzio.
Congresswoman Maggie Goodlander.
Representative Chrissy Houlihan.
Congressman Jason Crow. I was a captain in the United States Navy.
Former CIA officer.
Former Navy. Former paratrooper and Army Ranger.
Former intelligence officer.
Former Air Force.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
And the intelligence community.
who take risks each day to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals.
against American citizens. Like us, you all swore an oath.
To protect and defend this Constitution.
And right now, the threats to our Constitution aren't just coming from abroad, but from right here at home. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law.
Or our Constitution.
We know this is hard and that it's a difficult time to be a public servant.
But whether you're serving in the CIA,
The Army, or Navy,
The Air Force.
your vigilance is critical.
and know that we have your back.
Because now, more than ever,
The American people need you.
We need you to stand up for our laws.
we are, as Americans, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up.
Don't give up the ship.
Yeah, words matter, and I find it very interesting that they don't mention the laws that are being broken or what the Constitution has to say. What is it they're opposed to? What they're opposed to is the military that was used in D.C. To help cut the crime in half, to make downtown Washington D.C. safe to walk. That's what they said. They said no, and they're up in arms in Chicago. They don't want that to happen there either. Come to find out, there's a lot of stories allegedly that are accusing many of the cartels of funding, funding this stuff. But what I'm going to find interesting is when the American organized crime community in the foreign criminal organization started to bump heads. That's what was probably happening right now. And so the question becomes, well, which is worse? We've got enough problems of our own with organized crime, homegrown organized crime. Why in the world do we want to complicate it and give international cartels a free hand? Then it should make the average person wonder. It ought to be, things that make me go, So they're saying, no, you should not, as a military person, and look, what we've seen happen in the intelligence community over the last couple of years, we'll see what this Arctic frost, with these investigations are going to show. Oh, by the way, have you noticed we haven't heard anything about Jeffrey Epstein today? I suspect the polls are showing that I'm not the only one that's tired of hearing about a dead man. And the question becomes, what is the appropriate venue for that discussion? And when they started really stepping on some big toes, and I'm not talking about President Trump. He's already made it clear, and they've already understood. They know for sure that he severed his ties with Epstein years ago. That's been documented. But the whole point is, where everybody's trying to get a "I gotcha" moment. They go too far. They go too far. Why would you encourage the military personnel not to obey orders? That's chaos. That's anarchy. That's what Antifa practices. That's what they say they are, anarchists. Oh, I take that back. They don't exist. Remember? Anyway, let's take this break, and I'll be back with more after these messages.
Considering renovating your home, doing a restoration, or new home construction, call Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, 334-412-1939. He's not a handyman. He's a master craftsman who does the job right the first time with minimal disturbance, keeping your home clean. Here's one of Steve's customers.
This is Sandra at Cornerstone. It just does wonderful work. Everyone that I have sent to has been very pleased. I do not recommend people normally because I'm always scared they won't produce what they say. But I have no worries recommending him.
Choose the right contractor from the start when it comes to a renovation, restoration, or home building project. Contact Steve Johnson at Renovation Plus, specializing in all phases of home repair, paint, and remodel. 334-412-1939 for Renovation Plus. It's a bounty of savings at Dave's in Valley Grande. Get a big old bunch of collard greens or turnip greens, your choice, $2.99. 3-pound bag of yellow onions, 99 cents. 5-pound bag of Martha White or White Lily cornmeal, $2.78. 2-count pack of Pillsbury pie shells, deep or regular, 2 for $5. And an 8-ounce bowl of Cool Whip is $1.69. Shop and save when you shop with Dave. Dave's Market, Highway 22, Valley Grande.
Saturday, don't miss Auburn football. Angels play action, throws to the end zone, touchdown! Touchdown Auburn! And it's Daniels around the left gate, and he gets to the corner, he does 10, 5, touchdown Daniels!
The Tigers are back at Jordan Hare Stadium against the Mercer Bears. AM, only on the Auburn Sports Network. Chefs around the world will tell you there are lots of ways to cook U.S. farm-raised catfish.
See, like Ranchero catfish.
I would like the Tuscan catfish. But catfish, but you also come Caribbean catfish.
I quite prefer French-flavored catfish.
Also, teriyaki broiled catfish.
Arigato. Yep, U.S. farm-raised catfish means good eating everywhere. Check out all the great ways to prepare U.S. farm-raised catfish from the Catfish Institute at uscatfish.com.
Congratulations to Peak Insurance, recently voted Best Insurance Agency in the Summertime Journal Reader's Choice Awards. And a big round of applause for Lauren Adams, named Best Customer Service Representative. And for Chase Oopsie, voted Best Insurance Agent.
We want to take a moment to say something very important. Thank you. Thank you to our loyal customers who continue to trust us with your insurance needs year after year. Your confidence means everything to us. I'm Owen Peak. At Peak Insurance, we're proud to be the only locally owned independent insurance agency in Dallas County. From helping you choose the right coverage to standing by your side if you ever have a claim. We represent many great insurance companies, but we work for you. We're also honored to be the exclusive representative of Auto Owners Insurance in Dallas County, along with many other top-rated carriers. So once again, from all of us here at Peak Insurance, thank you for your loyalty and thank you for your confidence. Stop by and see us at 1003 Broad Street in Selma. Call today or visit peakinsurance.com. Peak coverage, peak service, Peak Insurance.
WHBB. 1490 WHBB. And so now I hadn't had a chance to see or hear what the reaction to the ad was by President Trump, but this is a story out of Detroit. It's the Detroit TV station. I'm going to play a little bit of it and see. I haven't, I don't even know what they're going to say. so I don't know. I'll be hearing it for the first time, like many of you. But this is the story about his reaction to encouraging military troops and intelligence officers to disobey unlawful orders.
It is people, power, and politics. This, my friends, is The Pulse. I'm Roop Raj. We have a lot to get to tonight. The news with Senator Alyssa Slotkin, what she said and did that had President Donald Trump calling her behavior seditious and punishable in some cases by death. Also, ask the experts. Tonight's topic, tariffs, and how they're affecting the automakers and our overall economy. Auto industry insider Jan Griffiths will join us in Studio C. We'll talk about all of that coming up in a few minutes. But we begin tonight with the big story of the day. Michigan Senator Alyssa Slotkin, one of 6 lawmakers who took part in a 90-second video. Here's some of it.
We want to speak directly to members of the military
and the intelligence community
who take risks each day
to keep Americans safe.
We know you are under enormous stress and pressure right now.
Americans trust their military.
But that trust is at risk. This administration is pitting our uniformed military
And intelligence community professionals
against American citizens. Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
You can refuse illegal orders.
You must refuse illegal orders. Well, President Trump not happy with this. He's responding in a post on Truth Social saying, quote, "It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President DJT." He then followed up with this: "Seditious behavior punishable by death," end quote. Senator Slotkin, the former CIA officer, responding today on social media by saying, quote, "Earlier this morning, President Trump threatened me and a group of service and veteran members of Congress with arrest, trial, and death by hanging." She also posted this video.
This really isn't about those of us who made the video. This is about who we are as Americans and how we're going to engage with people who we disagree with. I would hope that people of all backgrounds, Democrat, Republican, Independent, would agree that threatening death for people you disagree with is beyond the pale of who we are as Americans. I believe in the power of this country and that we are better than our current politics represent, and I refuse to be intimidated out of defending the country I love.
As you can imagine, this is getting a lot of buzz. It's generating a lot of reaction from both sides.
This really isn't about those of us who made the video. This is about who we are as Americans and how we're going to engage with people who we disagree with. I would hope that people of all backgrounds, Democrat, Republican, Independent, would agree that threatening death for people you disagree with is beyond the pale of who we are as Americans.
Governor Gretchen Whitmer chiming in as well tonight. She's saying in part, quote, "We can disagree fiercely. We must always center our mutual respect for one another. Let's work together to turn down the temperature and stay focused on getting things done," end quote. Joining me to discuss this and some of the other stories making news this week out of Washington is Aaron Tobin. He's a conservative commentator and former executive board member for the Oakland County Republican Party. Aaron, it's always good to see you. Thanks for joining us here tonight on The Pulse. I got to begin by asking you your initial reaction when you saw this squabble between the senators and the lawmakers and President Trump. What did you first think?
Well, first I saw the commercial. Watching Fox 2, I saw the commercial and I was just appalled. I was sitting with my mouth open. I was like, how could these people say that?
The lawmakers.
The lawmakers, especially Slotkin, who said, oh, I'm going to cross the lines and I'm going to work with Republicans. It was so biased and hateful, full of hate.
What they said in the video, Aaron, was you should not follow unlawful orders.
Right.
Just by way of those words, what's wrong with saying that in your mind?
These people are sworn. People in the military and armed services have a chain of command. They should go up to their chain of command if they have a question or what they think is unlawful. They should not be told that you should adjudicate this. They are not lawyers. They're not attorneys. They have a JAG, a military court. These people, generally the military is trained on what is and is not acceptable and when it is possible to avoid carrying out an order that since Lieutenant Calley went into Vietnam and him and his men destroyed a village, killed everyone in the village. That is a very sensitive point now with the military. To tell people that you should adjudicate an order when it comes down and you should double think an order from above, and even the commander-in-chief, they are trying to take away the commander-in-chief's authority and turn people against the commander-in-chief.
Let me ask you this. So we have a couple things going on here. We have obviously the video that you found appalling. So many people didn't like, the president didn't like. Let's begin there and then we'll go to the president's reaction. I was talking to an attorney earlier today who said, I don't know where we've lost our way, where we don't meet in the same rooms or say, hey, I have an issue
as you say, adjudicate this publicly on social media. Let's begin with the lawmakers. What's a better way? Let's say they really do have concerns about how the military is being used. How would you then say they should fiercely, as the governor described, disagree, but still do it in a way that would be acceptable in your mind?
They could have done the same commercial much nicer and more effectively, and they all know veterans. They said that they are veterans. They know there's a chain of command. They know that they are trained. There were outright lies in what they said in their messaging.
But should they be doing it on social? I guess I'm going to assert a little bit of my opinion here. Maybe these lawmakers should have actually said, let's go get a meeting with Secretary Hegseth and chat about our concerns, our deep concerns, and then maybe hold a congressional hearing and discuss it with their constituents. Instead, though, it seemed like kind of this very kind of boisterous message on social media that came out of left field. So is there a better way for these lawmakers to have handled it?
You hit the nail right on the head. This is exactly what Slotkin promised to do, to work with the president. She was on this stage and said, I want to work with the Republicans and I will work with President Trump. She basically, this is an attack on President Trump from behind.
Now, let me ask you this, though. You're the president of the United States. You're used to people attacking because you are the head of your party.
You're the target.
And you're the target. The president, the way he handled this by talking about death and sedition, that is not accurate, though, because sedition would mean promoting an unlawful act. It's the very thing that they were actually calling the military not to do, which is to follow an unlawful act. Why do you believe that what the president said was correct? Do you think that he could have handled it differently?
Of course he can, but he's President Trump, and he's going to say what comes off the top of his mind.
But do you wish that he handled it differently?
I always wish that he is more presidential. He's given some beautiful speeches and very articulate. I always wish that, but he is the man that we need for the job at this time. And I believe he's doing a great job. But I don't see he called for the death penalty. I actually saw his posts, and sedition, there's three types of sedition. Yep. This was the type where you are encouraging people, members of the armed services, not to listen to their supervisors. That is the definition of sedition.
But the definition of sedition is correct in what you just stated. But what is not correct is in that video, it didn't say don't follow orders. It said don't follow unlawful orders. So that's an important distinction, which is
they are telling soldiers, you are now the judge, jury, and the jury. You should adjudicate every single order you got. Let me see, I don't agree with this one. I'm not going to do this one. There's a chain of command. They have to follow the chain of command. They are more than welcome to go to the chain of command and say, you know what, I don't think this is legal. I'm questioning this order. But what they said it is not right.
I think,
Okay, and it's a pretty lengthy program. I'm not going to play all of it. You got the gist of what what's at the base. I might be able to find the short comment that President Trump actually made, but as I recall, military law in the United States, if you're found guilty of treason and abetting, aiding the enemy, you're found guilty of treason, and you're found guilty as being a traitor. Well, I don't know. There's only one penalty that I know of, and I think now they're going back to hanging people. Saddam Hussein was hung, from what I remember. But anyway, so if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. If you're not willing to be able to take the criticism, don't throw the rock. So they threw a rock and didn't like the answer that came back. When you get in the mud, when you start all this mudslinging, then anything might be said. And so my thing is, the question becomes, in the ad, that they don't mention what law, and like the guy was saying, they're really saying is, as a military person or intelligence officer, I need to be deciding what's lawful and what's not. That's a lot of gray area, and could lead to the Antifa syndrome, anarchy, this mass chaos, no order. Let's take this break, and then we'll come to the phone line.
We know
know, that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby. The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You can feast and pay the least because you always save when you shop with Dave at Dave's Market in Valley Grande. Now through November 29th, pick up Black Angus beef bone-in rib roast for $12.69 a pound. Turkey breast, 99 cents a pound. 10-pound bag of leg quarters, $5. And baking hens, just 99 cents a pound. Keep listening, we'll tell you more. Shop and save when you shop with Dave. Dave's Market, Highway 22, Valley Grande.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
There are only 4 seasons, and flu season does not have to be one of them. At the Selma Doctors Clinic, we are here to help keep you safe during this flu season. We're offering flu shots daily from 8 to 9 each morning and 1 to 2 each afternoon. Call us today at 874-9064 to make an appointment for that annual flu shot. Selma Doctors Clinic Historical District in Selma. We have Dr. Park Chittum Sr., Dr. Park Chittum II, Dr. Daniel Clower, and our nurse practitioner, Mary Elizabeth Schweitzer. Call us today at 874-9064 to schedule an appointment for your flu shot. And remember that walk-ins are always welcome. We are the Selma Doctors Clinic, where we are always here for you.
1490 Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Good morning, Randy.
Good morning.
Those senators and congressmen, they only said what everybody in the military knows. If you feel like there's an unlawful order or whatever, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to follow it. Everybody already knows that. But for the president of the United States to come back and say that they're traitors, they should be charged with sedition, and harm or kill, that is ridiculous.
All right, we're just about out of time, and thank you for calling. I'm going to play, I think they're going to actually say here on CBS what the president said. Okay, I thought they were going to use to show, there's some video on President Trump also making some comments. And so, you know, to me, again, is, you know, if I can dish it out, but I can't take it. And so if I find it next week, I'll play it, but I want to do both sides. And then I'm going to do a little more, bring a little bit more to the table as we see what does the Constitution say about sedition and traitors. A Viewpoint, you're on the air.
Yeah, Brandon, I had to call back. I want people to watch what Gail King has done, because that's what my grandfather said. Has always taught us. If someone asks you to do something that
you know is wrong and is not correct, don't you do it. You just leave and walk away from it. And another thing, as we cut Patty LaVelle, I want to point that out too. Patty LaVelle refused to perform, and I know that Patty LaVelle is a wonderful person also, because she gave her talents to the when we started the Afro Festival in Milwaukee for the first time. She gave her business, gave her concerts free of charge for at least 8 years, because my husband used to sit with her husband in the audience for many years. I just wanted to point those two things.
Okay, we're out of time. Real quick, Carly, you got 20 seconds.
Hey, Randy, if you want anything down, no skin in the game, then need a hug.
Okay, and you have a good weekend. I'll see you Sunday morning, actually, for gospel at 9:30. And you know, all of this is food for thought. We're just getting started, and so we're gonna dissect these so-called narratives. Stay tuned for Fox News on WHBB Selma. It's 10 o'clock.
Dignity. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. A choice that Ukraine's President Zelensky says he's facing in a White House brokered peace plan that would end the Russian invasion. Press